What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or Game Over Jesse as all of you may know me, here with the Hylians Gamescast topic of discussion. So today, we're going to be talking about BuzzFeed's Zelda timeline video, which I clicked on, and at first I was like, oh, this is funny, this is interesting. They're showing the timeline in like a comedic way to get people who may not be interested in like the lore of Zelda into it. So I was all for it. I was watching it. At the beginning I noticed something. I was like, oh, that's not quite right. And then they immediately said something else, and I was like, that's not right either. And then they said a huge thing, which we'll get into later, but basically they said every Link is the descendant of a previous Link. And I was like, well, no, this is way wrong. So I wanted to make this video, not to hate on BuzzFeed's video and be like, oh, they messed up, screw BuzzFeed, don't watch their videos, blah, blah, blah.
A little bit like that, though.
It's kind of like that. But I don't want to be that guy. So we're doing this because we don't want misinformation out there. There's a lot of people that watch a video and they're like, oh, this video has a lot of views, or this person has millions of subscribers, so what they're saying must be true, which is like the Link is dead theory. MatPat on the video game theory, or like the gaming theory, whatever, I can't even think of the channel's name. But a lot of people look at theirs, and he's even had interviews where he says that most of his subscribers are little kids that'll believe anything that he says. And there's even been videos where like he's made separate videos, I believe, apologizing for it, but he's had interviews, like text interviews or like video interviews and stuff, where not only has he said most of his subscribers are little kids that'll believe anything that he says, but he said most of them are just dumb people that'll believe him just because he has so many subscribers. And then he even used some of his theories, or like some of the stuff that he does is like, it's so dumb that he doesn't believe it himself, but it's interesting enough that he still wants to make a video about it. So he's basically calling the people, it's like, oh, if you believe this, you're stupid, but you're watching it because, yeah. And anyways, I just wanted to mention that because it's a similar situation, because I commented on this video and there were people that's like, no, they have like, literally what I just said, like there's people that replied to my comment. There's so many people, in fact, that I deleted the comment. But there were people that was replying to it, and they were like, hey, they wouldn't be saying this if it wasn't true. Like, this video is here to give people information, not to feed them lies or whatever. And there were so many people commenting on it, and I'm like, I just ended up deleting it because I got tired of giving the same reply over and over. In fact, there's a few subscribers
about that.
There was a few subscribers of our channel here at Game Over Jesse that's also on our Discord that were commenting and like backing me up on it, being like, hey, no, if you play some of the games, you'll see clearly it's not like the son of the same Link over and over. But anyways, here's a lot of the stuff that they got wrong. Some of it is really bad. And again, this video, not to hate necessarily, just to make sure there's no misinformation out there. So starting
disclaimer as well. BuzzFeed is not the pinnacle of journalism. They're more of just funny.
Yeah.
So
BuzzFeed,
it's really,
you could,
not that we are the pinnacle of journalism.
You could go right now and work for BuzzFeed. All you have to do is apply for a freelance position, just like IGN. Almost anyone can work for IGN. They pay freelancers per article. You'll get $15 if you write an article for them.
Put a bunch of gift sets in your resume.
Yeah.
And BuzzFeed will hire you.
Anyways, not to hate on those websites either. I love IGN and a lot of the people that work there. I have a few friends that work at IGN. Anyways, everything wrong with BuzzFeed's Zelda video. This isn't everything, this is just some of the major stuff. There's more stuff in there. Like Daniel went through, made a list. I went through, picked out some stuff, and we had different stuff. So there was some stuff I missed, some stuff that he missed. So let's get into it. Basically, like 30 seconds into the video, starts out saying the royal family was created with Ocarina of Time. So before Ocarina of Time, there is, I believe there is one of the Four Swords games, Minish Cap. This is going back from Ocarina of Time to Skyward Sword.
Four Swords, Minish Cap, Skyward Sword.
Yeah, so all of those take place. It goes Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, Four Swords, Ocarina of Time. And they say the royal family, Hyrule, the king, queen, everything, created the kingdom or whatever, and the royal family was there with Ocarina of Time, is what it says. And then it's like, if you play Minish Cap, the game literally starts with Princess Zelda coming to like get you to go to the festival. So right there, it's like, if the kingdom was founded in Ocarina of Time, there would be no princess or king or anything.
Yeah.
And
you meet the king,
yeah.
princess. Yeah. There's a castle that they live in. There's royal guards and knights.
Yeah.
And
it even shows, in Minish Cap, it even shows a previous king who was like a dead ghost person.
That's true. The ghost of King...
He was there like hundreds of years before Minish Cap. So like...
Dalta's the current one.
Yeah.
Anyways, point is that he dead. It's not a new king. You know, it's supposedly established directly after Skyward Sword.
Yeah, like after Skyward Sword, they come down. I think they use their wish on the Triforce to get rid of all the evil in Hyrule, because it ends with Link and Zelda on top of the statue of the goddess, and they have the full Triforce there. And presumably they use it to make Hyrule a better place. They all go down. It even shows like Groos's friends flying down to Hyrule. So presumably the kingdom is created then, and they probably, since, what's his name? Gaebora was the headmaster.
Yeah, or
Zelda's father was already like the main guy in Skyloft, so he presumably automatically became their leader once they got there. And then Zelda, obviously, because she's a freaking goddess. Like
it makes sense.
When someone has the power of a god, you pretty much look at them and be like, okay, she's in charge. She knows what to do. Plus, she has the Triforce of Wisdom, so she's automatically smarter than everyone. I think before that, this is the next thing. I put it after, though. They say Link's hat turns into a bird. Again, something like they could have. I assume they put that just to make it funny. But again, it's misinformation. Probably. Link's hat does not turn into a bird. Link's hat is actually Ezlo, who was one of the Minish that are introduced in Minish Cap, who used to be a sage and a powerful magical user, and he fought against Vaati a long time ago, but Vaati turned him into this bird hat thing.
Yeah. And also, it's not that Link's hat, like, the way it's phrased, they say Link's hat transforms into a bird, as if this is a hat he already had that became a bird. But in the game, it's the character Ezlo is transformed into a hat, and Link finds the hat, or more like the hat decides, I'm gonna be on your head now, and kind of hops on.
But he was like, basically, this is another thing. Doing research on this, because some of this I already knew, like with Ezlo, I knew, obviously, people know he's not a bird. But with this, I didn't know that he was a sage. I knew he was supposed to be like a magic user, but I didn't know he was an actual sage, like Princess Ruto or Sheik or Zelda, whichever, like that's one of the sages. Daruni is a sage in Ocarina of Time. But I didn't know there was like sages like Ezlo, so that's really cool. And it makes me wonder, is he still a sage even though he's a bird hat thing?
I guess.
Yeah. So then what's our next thing, Daniel? Because I think this was something that you mentioned. Or you
They mentioned in the video, so guys like, why did he de-age? Why is he a kid here, an adult here, kid again? And so she says, well, no, every Link is a descendant of the original hero. Yeah. And that is not true.
They started it off correctly by saying it's not the same Link and all of the timelines. So I was like, oh, this is good. They're sharing information. Because go on. They got it right at first, and the guy's basically like, well, why is he an adult here and a kid here? Does he de-age or does he grow older? And she's like, no, they're all different links. And I was like, okay, that
Yeah.
is really good at explaining it. And then they say, the guy gets confused and she says, well, each one is like a descendant of all of the other links. And it's like, no, there's only like maybe 2 links that are direct descendants of the others. Like Twilight Princess Link is a direct descendant of Ocarina of Time Link. Again, that simple thing right there disproves the Link is dead theory, because if Link died in Majora's Mask as a kid, well, when you're 9 years old, you can't have a baby. So, like, no, he was like he was 8 or 7 years old in Ocarina of Time.
And also in the Downfall timeline, you can't have a child if you die. Just putting that out there.
So, yeah, basically, Link as a kid in Majora's Mask, theory suggests he dies or whatever. Obviously, it didn't happen, because in Twilight Princess, it talks about him returning to Hyrule, growing up, being a Hylian knight, and then his skeleton that you meet, the Hero Shade in Twilight Princess, is an adult skeleton, not a kid's skeleton. So, and again, like, if Child Link in Ocarina of Time, nowhere in the game did you knock boots with anyone and have a baby. So, but yeah,
yes. What they actually are is they all possess the spirit of the hero, which is passed on, but it's not a blood descendant.
The spirit of the hero is passed on, but you become a reincarnation, but you are not a descendant. So, Twilight Princess Link is the great whatever grandson of Link from Ocarina of Time. But Spirit Tracks Link is also like a great whatever grandson of Phantom Hourglass Link, who's also Wind Waker Link.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the only 2, but I'm not sure. And then, like Wind Waker Link, the King of Red Lions directly tells you that you are not the bloodline of the Hero of Time. Daniel, you're cutting out.
Sorry, I don't think he tells you specifically, but he mentions to Jaboon that you have no connection to the hero. Yeah. So it's yeah.
Plus, Link doesn't exist there.
Yeah, he doesn't exist in that timeline. In the Downfall timeline, he's dead.
Yeah.
So there's only one timeline where that even would make sense out of the 3, and she explicitly states outright that there's the split. So
yeah.
Yes. Ilya, why don't you take the next?
Yeah, what's the next one?
Correction.
Oh yeah, I remember this part. And he turned into a wolf. She mentions Twilight Princess as if it's still the hero of time instead of being a new character, which I was questionable about that at first too. I'm like, I assume she meant Ocarina of Time, like it wasn't Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
they are, but the clip they show, because they show Twilight Princess Link.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is
the way it's phrased. I don't know.
Yeah, she words it as if Ocarina of Time Link or Majora's Mask Link turns into a wolf, and then that's the one you play as. Now, if you want to get really specific, the Hero of Time or the Hero Shade, after he's dead, when he legitimately dies, not in Majora's Mask, but way later, after he has a family and kids and knocks up Milan, probably. Or Malon. That's my theory anyways. Malon.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but Mario's daughter. So, because he's based off of Mario, and his brother's based off of Luigi. His brother's just evil, so I guess it's based off Waluigi. Who knows? Anyways, with I forgot, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, the Hero Shade, after you do the Howling Stone as a Wolf Link, it marks a spot on the map, and when you go there, it's the golden Super Saiyan version of Wolf Link, and it like jumps into you. So, in a way, the Hero of Time does turn into a wolf. But that's not the part that she's talking about. She's talking about the Link that you play as, the Hero of Light or the Hero of Twilight. But she mentions it as if you are still playing as the Hero of Time. and
Yeah.
then he turns
It's
into
just like he
a
does
wolf.
this, then he goes and gets masked, then he turns into a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the way it's phrased, it's like
Yeah.
that's not right though.
And what's our next one, Ilya?
She says A Link to the Past underappreciated, which is such a lie. I've
So
like usually the debate I hear is like which one was made the biggest difference, A Link to the Past or Ocarina
Yeah.
of Time, but also people talk about A Link to the Past as the one that set the standard prior to it becoming 3D. Not underappreciated by any means.
It's not by any stretch underappreciated
No.
at all.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah, like you said, the two games that are kind of contested as being
I'm gonna
the
just-
definitive best Zelda game is Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past.
Yep.
So yeah, it doesn't. What did you do, Jesse?
I was adjusting the volume.
Oh, I just saw the stream. We got all.
Yeah.
All you
no.
see is me going.
So basically what Ilya was saying is everyone, like whenever you're rating, not just like what's the best Zelda game, but traditionally like the best game ever, technically Ocarina of Time, if you go to like Metacritic or something, it's like the #1 game of all time. Because it's rated, like it has the highest average review scores. It can be debated that Super Mario Galaxy 2
Yeah.
is the best game of all time based off of average review scores, because I did an article for Zelda Dungeon where like there was some website where their number was put and it like made it like 99.8 instead of like 99.7, which made it top Ocarina of Time as the best rated game ever. Anyways, it's a bit off topic. When you're talking about like the best games of all time, if someone's talking about 3D games, they'll mention Ocarina of Time. If they're talking about 2D games, they'll mention A Link to the Past. So you have, like, they're always at the top of the list. You'll never talk to a Zelda fan who hates Ocarina of Time, and you'll never talk to a Zelda fan who hates A Link to the Past. But you will talk to Zelda fans who hate Link's Awakening because of only using one item at a time, or they hate
Yeah, that is true.
Zelda 2 because like it's so much different than the rest of the Zelda games. So if anything, like those games are underappreciated. Link's Awakening, because it's the least technologically advanced game because it's on the original Game Boy, which was less powerful than the NES. So it's like, even though it includes more features than the original Zelda game, technically it's like inferior to it from like a technology standpoint. So a lot of people don't really look at it. So I would say it's an underappreciated game. But A Link to the Past was so appreciated that they originally wanted to remake it for the 3DS so even more people could play it, because they knew it would sell really well. So they were like, hey, why don't we just remake it? We know people will buy it. And then that ended up, like Miyamoto wanted to remake it, and then Aonuma was like, I want to make a new game. So they compromised and made, I call it a reimagining, because it began as a remake, but then they wanted to do a new game, so if you mix the two, it's like a reimagining. I don't know. So that's that. Go to the next one, Ilya.
Yes.
No mention of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wait,
it's
there was
only-
absolutely no mention of it?
Zero.
no. And
Zero
that's
mention
like
of it.
a heavy-hitting game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Came out over a year ago.
Like, it came
Yeah.
out, it's the newest game that's released
Mhm.
that people have, like IGN and other websites that are known for reviewing games, have said it's the best game of all time.
Yeah. But
And,
then in the
like-
list, she says, oh, or in the video, she says, oh, it ends in Zelda 2. And she goes, that's the very last game in the
It's like,
And it's
no,
like, but-
Breath of the Wild,
10,000 years later.
10,100
Yeah,
years.
no matter which timeline it is.
it's,
Yeah.
it's still the very end.
Yeah, whether it's
Yeah.
a convergence, like Daniel wants to believe, or a singular timeline, like Axel wants to believe, no matter like where you pick, it's always 10,000 years after all of them. So, and then like even with Zelda 2, like that's the last in the Downfall timeline, but
sure,
Four Swords Adventures could be even further along that because we don't know. Like, there's more games in the Downfall timeline, but all of those games could take place in a shorter amount of time than the other timelines. Yeah, we have no idea. Like, it could be...
If anything, the Downfall games are much closer together. There's a lot more links, I think.
Yeah.
So...
Like... And then the other thing they changed was, like, it was the same Link in A Link to the Past, the Oracle games, and then Link's Awakening, I believe.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was in one of the scripts I read.
They changed it from the Oracle games now take place after Link's Awakening instead of in between, and now it's a completely different Link. And then there was another thing where, like, Capcom was designing Four Swords Adventure. I think it was Four Swords, one of the Four Swords games, to take place directly after A Link to the Past, or like before A Link to the Past. Like they were trying to make it a sequel to one of the older games.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. Just because I'm guessing because the aesthetic is like really similar.
Yeah. Well,
probably.
Whichever game it was, they were trying to make it a sequel to another Zelda game, and then Nintendo was like, "No, it has to stand out on its own." And Capcom was like, "But we have all of these references." All of these items that are literally taken straight from A Link to the Past. So and now it comes after like Twilight Princess. So it's like, how do we... It doesn't make sense. If like they designed it and it was like 90% completed to be a sequel to another Zelda game, and then Nintendo's like, we don't want it to be that, we want it to be its own thing. So then they just had to like rethink stuff to make it like just fit wherever Nintendo wanted it to. It seems like something Nintendo would want to tell them when you're starting the game, instead of being like, hey, this Majora's Mask, it's too similar to Ocarina of Time. There's too many of the same characters. And then Alan was like, well, that's the point. You only gave us a year to work on it. Anyways, Daniel,
Literally
what's next?
Moving on.
Yeah, those tangents, we keep going on those. Apologize.
The Downfall timeline.
What about the Downfall timeline?
So she does a little rundown of the Downfall timeline. And very quickly, at the same time that she mentions the Link to the Past being underappreciated, and does it in just lists them in completely the wrong order. But she has a visual showing the Hyrule Historia order, which could be considered the correct order, like come on screen, and then she lists it as A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, then the Oracle games, then Link's Awakening, then the original two Zeldas. And that is just, if you do the Hyrule Story or the Zelda Encyclopedia, either way, that's just incorrect.
Yeah, the original timeline and the updated timeline, even though they switch it, like this is completely like A Link Between Worlds. Okay, so Nintendo has directly said Link's Awakening, when it was designed, was a sequel to A Link to the Past. That has never changed.
No.
They put the Oracle games between them.
Yeah.
But then they removed them to make it what it was originally. So those games still exist there. And then they said, like hundreds of years after, you get A Link Between Worlds. So...
Yeah. So it should be Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, the Oracle games, A Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes.
Yeah.
Then the Zelda 1 and 2.
And then it's theorized the old man in A Link Between Worlds is Link from A Link to the Past. Because he has the green suit, he's the one that you fight. He has like the Master Sword thing.
Wicked sword moves. And he can do handstands.
Yeah. And there's a guy, he's like in a cave or like some random house, and he talks about how the old man used to go on, or like legend has it, the old man used to go on adventures. So, yeah.
It's not confirmed. It's speculation territory. but very.
It's just Nintendo having fun with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's old man.
But yeah, Link. That's
And that could be another thing. Like, they didn't give him an actual name; they just called him Old Man, because with the Link to the Past, you could name him whatever you wanted to. So instead of referring to his actual name, they just called him Old Man because everyone could have named him something different. So,
I'm one of those Zelda players that names Link Link.
Yeah.
In every game.
Same.
Okay, not just me. I'm like, maybe that's boring.
Doesn't Breath of the Wild make you name him Link?
Yes, Breath of the Wild does, but that's just because you have to work around the voice acting.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise, it would have been like, "Welcome, Link. Wake up," and then you'd be like, "No, my name's."
Hey.
That's not my name.
And then if they would have had voice
10,000
acting,
names.
if they would have had voice acting to where it was the different names, it would have been like the awkward lines where it has to like load up whatever the name is so you can tell, like when you're playing some weird game and it says something like "Wake up," and then there's a pause, and then in a completely monotone voice.
Open your eyes. Wake up, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're just going through the name. They're like Mark, Matthew. So, yeah.
Then what if your name's like not on the list? They're just like, wake up, buddy.
My real name would never be on that.
Yeah. No, because your real name's
Your fake
Twilight
name probably
Princess.
wouldn't be.
No, my fake name is even. What's the name of a character in Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
True.
We referenced it in one of the scripts. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Ilya." No, not that Ilya. I thought you would have typed back and been like, "This is the stupidest joke in the world."
Okay, no, I felt stupid.
No,
'cause
that's
I
a
was
good
like,
joke.
What does that even mean? It's literally who I named myself. I didn't get my own joke.
All right. Yeah, she uses the Hyrule Historia timeline instead of the retconned Zelda Encyclopedia timeline, which has the switch for the Downfall timeline. And she doesn't.
It's not even that timeline though. It's like even wrong for either one.
Yeah. So that's all the stuff we could find. If you go and watch the video, I'm not going to link it because I don't encourage people. I posted on Twitter when I first seen it, and I was like, before I had the idea to do the video, I was like, I seen, or like this popular YouTube channel with millions of subscribers made a Zelda timeline video that's so horrible, but I don't want to link to it because it's so bad. So, yeah. Anyways, I appreciate when people want to do Zelda videos and stuff. I just don't appreciate when they have, because it seems like they did research on the video.
Somewhat.
But they put a lot of wrong stuff in there, whether it was to make a joke, like with his hat turning into a thing. That seems like something they just changed to make a funny joke, but then the other stuff, like all of them being descendants, that wasn't a joke. Like, that wasn't one of the funny parts. So it's like the spreading of all of the misinformation. This is how you get people that comment on a video, and they're like, no, this is wrong because MatPat said Link is dead. And then you have to explain why he's not dead. Where they're like, no, this theory sucks because this other person's theory says this. So then you'll get people where she says A Link Between Worlds happens after A Link to the Past, like directly after. You'll get people, if you do a review of a game, like A Link Between Worlds, and you're like, A Link Between Worlds comes after, I guess now, the Oracle games. Then you'll get someone be like, no, Oracle games take place after A Link Between Worlds because BuzzFeed said so. And then you'll have to just facepalm and either explain it to them or consider them a lost case and just pray for them. Because, yeah.
Ask Goddess Hylia.
Yes. That'll be my my generic reply to everyone is like, go ask Hylia for forgiveness. Alright. That's another
also,
thing that I
MatPat
don't...
even says at the end of every video, that's just a theory.
A stupid theory.
Like, he acknowledges it, but anyway.
Yeah. And then
I love MatPat, but
all right, like I've seen a few of him, like a few videos of him out of character, where he's not playing the YouTube role, and he seems like a nice person. But
oh, heck yeah.
in the videos where he said that like he used to do like his own research, now he just pays people to do research and he just reads whatever they give him, just like apparently BuzzFeed just reads whatever people write for them instead of doing it. Although the 3DS the girl had was a really cool 3DS. It looked like it had like custom art and stuff on it.
It did look really cool,
Yeah.
and I was
wanted
kind of
that one.
jealous.
So
I did like there was kind of a reference that me guys, you know, like
Yeah.
explaining the stuff from It's Always Sunny, but then
Yeah.
the Red Strings made made the
Triforce.
Triforce behind her. That was a nice touch. There were like I don't want our viewers to think that everything was terrible. The video overall was not terribly made. It's just there was a lot of false information that makes me sad. So
yeah, all right. So do you guys have any last, excuse me, comments on the video?
bananas.
Bananas. I had bananas for dinner last night.
Coconut crackers.
Coconut crackers. Go watch the top 5 canceled Donkey Kong videos. The Mario video has over 1 million views. The Zelda video has over 500,000.
King.
All the other videos, the top 5 canceled Nintendo games has over 100,000 views. Top 5 canceled Pokemon games has around 100,000 views. All of them have like so many views. The only one that doesn't, understandably, is actually the one that I put the most time in. The top 5 canceled PlayStation games. No one watched that, but I didn't really think anyone would,
Okay.
because it's PlayStation.
I watched it.
But it talks about Spyro games, Jack and Daxter games, Crash, maybe.
Maybe now that Spyro and Crash are probably coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Maybe now people will take interest in it.
Yeah. So it talks about those games, and then I went a long time without making a canceled games video. And because I did Zelda, I did Mario, I did Pokemon, I did just Nintendo games in general, I did PlayStation games in general, and I was like, I've done everything. And I was like, well, the Mario video has 1 million views, I'll do another Mario video, because there's like 50 canceled Mario games. And then I did another follow-up. So there's like the top 5 canceled Mario games, part 2, but I think I called it top 5 canceled and rare Mario games, because I had one on the list that did release, but it was like a very super duper limited thing. Like you had to, it stitched your, it was like a Famicom attachment to where it had like a sewing machine tied to it, so you would make a layout using the controller on the screen, and then the sewing machine would like stitch together whatever pixel art you made. But there's only like so many of it that whatever. Go watch it, please. Please. I thought people
Namaste. Watch it, please.
I thought people would watch it because Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came out for the Switch. So I was like, hey, people are going to be interested in Donkey Kong. So I did the Donkey Kong video. But we have Mega Man coming up. RJ, CC's boyfriend, is going to be on that video. It's going to be really cool. Hopefully Ilya will be on it as well. Daniel's going to return. And we have Metroid, which I think most of the audio is already done for that as well. Maybe.
I still need to record mine.
Yeah. And Ilya, you also more than welcome to be on that video as well, but I feel bad when I send you too much at once, so.
No, it's fine. I feel bad when I record video, which I actually haven't.
Sorry,
yet.
you cut out there.
No, I said I just feel bad whenever I'm like I know I didn't end up doing the God of War. So I don't mind if I don't know what it is.
Yeah. You cut out again, but I think we understood.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm also
So,
home
yeah.
for the summer, so now I have like all the time in the world.
Woo!
Alright, so please look forward to those games. Go check out the Donkey Kong game again. Begging you. Put a lot of work into it.
Do it.
The videos made like $2, and I paid like $50 altogether for the people in the video. So
do it for Jesse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we're good for the mailbag now.
Yes, more questions.
So everyone in the chat, this is the reason you're all watching. 38 people watching. I guess 10 people left because I was begging. All right. So we're going to do another intro. People in the chat, post your comments. Be sure to tag myself and Daniel to make sure we see your comments. Put my name in there so they stand out. We'll answer your Zelda or Nintendo related questions, and we also have a few questions from Discord, possibly even from Patreon. So we will do another intro for that, and we'll each take 2 questions because we've already been on here for a super duper long time. Are you guys ready? You looking up the question?
Ready.
I can't see the questions on Discord because I have to record my screen. Otherwise, it'll do the thing that it did when I was changing the audio levels.
Okay. Can you see the ones on the Google Doc?
I can, but not the Discord. So, yeah. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right.